Well, Jersey's been to the polls, and it's been a very interesting time. We're doing an interview about this because I think there's quite a lot of crossover with the Isle of Man. Sam Mézec is joining us, who's, he's had a roller coaster ride of an evening, to say the least. The Jersey press, I thought, were giving you quite a hard time, actually. Now, it's quite a different system to what we have. We'd probably call it more like a super MHK, because the position you went for was island-wide. Yes, I mean, you were safe in your own little area, but you decided to go for one of these. Well, you're going to be a senator, right? Is that right, senator?
Yeah, that's right.
And anyway, you got in. Let's cut to the chase. You didn't think you were, but at the last minute you got in. But Reform Jersey, and this is where it interests me, it's the only political party on the island. You're a disruptor to some degree to the way that Jersey is perceived. You know, you're looking to lower or make it easier for rental, owning property in the island. Is that right? And you want a progressive tax system. But over to you. I mean, you've got leverage now. You've got that momentum. How do you feel it's going?
Yeah, it's great. So this is the strongest position that a political party in Jersey has been for 70 years. It's the strongest that a centre-left Social Democratic Party has ever been in Jersey. And it's the first time that a centre-left party candidate has ever won an island-wide seat under our electoral system. So we're obviously really proud of the gains that we've made. But our campaign was very unique in that we were running on a 33-page election manifesto, and we had sort of 10 key pledges which we knew were fully costed and which were definitely deliverable. We weren't promising motherhood and apple pie like independent candidates do. And so we're hoping throughout this term of office, because of the stronger position we're in, we'll be in a better place to be able to deliver on what we actually told the public we would try and deliver on their behalf. And then that means at the next election, we can say, see, look how much better the party system works than the independent system, and hopefully convince other people to either join our party or form their own so that the public can have a proper democratic say next time round.
You could become Chief Minister, technically, if you wanted to, in this position you're in. I mean, could you be voted in?
Well, I mean, I could put myself forward as a candidate. I need 6 members to nominate me, and I think that's probably possible. But the question then is politically, is that the right thing for us to do when we only make up 10% of the chamber? I think what's good, though, is that because there's a group of us with a joint manifesto, we're in a much stronger bargaining position than we otherwise would have been. So if there are other stronger contenders for Chief Minister, we're able to negotiate with them and say, OK, if you want our 5 votes, you're going to have to promise to deliver on X, Y and Z parts of our manifesto. And again, we can take that to the public and say the reason we were able to do that is because there was strength in numbers, and we did that using the mandate that the public gave us.
Yeah, I should obviously definitely point out you gained members, didn't you? You went up from, was it 3? Yeah, and you've now got, is it 8?
5.
5. Okay,
6% increase.
Yeah, I mean, what do you want? I mean, do you see Jersey not being a finance business centre in the future? How far do you want to push things?
No, we're a pro-finance party, and what was difficult in this campaign is there are sort of. But basically, we're a social democratic party. We're on the centre left, and those on the centre right in Jersey can often throw mud at those who are trying to do something new and something different. So unfortunately, we've had a reputation of being anti-finance, but we're not. And our manifesto made that clear. There are plenty of small jurisdictions around the world that have centre-left social democratic governments that put social policy at the forefront of what they do, but are also very strong on business. Gibraltar is a great example of this. They have a socialist government and a strong finance industry. So there's no contradiction between the two. We just want to be a prosperous island, but everybody to share in that prosperity, not just a few rich people at the top.
And progressive tax system does mean you want the people at the top end to pay more.
Absolutely. I mean, our tax system is a little bit convoluted. There's 2 bands of income tax that you pay, whichever one results in the lowest liability for you. But then the wealthiest islanders end up paying a lower rate of tax than others. So we want to equalise the system and basically put everybody on the same rate. And if you do that and ask those at the very top to pay a few % more, you actually raise enough revenue to lower the rate for lower middle earners. So give them a bit of a break, more money in their pocket to spend in the local economy. So we just see it as win-win.
Getting party politics into Jersey, I mean, and that's the reason I'm really doing this. Obviously, we've got here in the Isle of Man the Lib Van party, and that sort of thing. They've struggled. They have members. They've got in. Then some have defected. Do you think that's going to happen with you now that you've got all these members? Will they stick to your policy?
I'm absolutely sure they will. The candidates we had standing for us this time round were they were just committed to the cause so much. They are philosophically on exactly the same page as the rest of us, and we work so well together as a team. And I try and keep contacts with members of the political parties in the Isle of Man, and I'm sure there's lots of discussions that we can have across islands to talk about how we've had our successes and how we've dealt with some of the failures from time to time. But I think what united us was the fact we actually bothered to put a 33-page manifesto together, and all of the candidates had their say in it. And if any candidate disagreed with anything that was proposed to be put in it, it didn't go in it. Simple as that. So it was a document that we could all unite behind. And we just gelled really well together as a team. And I think we're going to show over the next few years that we're a good team in the Parliament as well as outside of it. And I just see no direction apart from forwards for us.
The way things have kind of gone wrong sometimes in the past here is, of course, when something that's not in your manifesto might come up and there's a whip sort of system like you shall vote with us on this. And some members have decided in the past they can't go with it and have left the party. So it's something that's not in that manifesto. Will you hold them to it? Will you be like the kingpin to say, yes, you must vote this way, or will you leave them free to do it?
Well, we've been really honest with all of our candidates right from the very start and said that, firstly, your conscience and your constituents come before everything else. You know, we're a party and we're united by our values. But we're not going to fall out if there are small issues from time to time that we disagree on. And our 3 sitting members have occasionally disagreed from time to time, and we've just dealt with it like adults. And I think that's the basic thing you've got to do, is sometimes you've got to agree to disagree. But we have got a very comprehensive manifesto, 33 pages long, that covers a whole broad range of topics that every candidate contributed to. So after an election, we've not really left much room to hide. We have sort of tackled most of the main issues. So if anything new is going to come up from time to time, we'll obviously sit down and discuss it. But what we've done this term is every single week we've had a parliamentary party meeting, and that has been where we've thrashed these issues out and come to our positions. And we're going to carry on doing that. And I think with more of us in there, we'll actually have better input from a broader range of experiences. So I think actually we'll do better this time round than last time.
I mean, I've been watching the thing here, and last night you got so much airtime on BBC Channel Islands and also ITV Channel Islands. I mean, you seem to be the main interest down there. You also hit social media very big. I'm looking what you did. Do you think that's a success? Did you hit the lower end of the age range of the Jersey people who are voting? Because it's not a massive turnout, is there?
No, turnouts in Jersey, unfortunately, are really bad. And this election, for the first time, we've actually got international election observers who are going to make recommendations about our whole system, which I think should actually be coming out any time now. So it should be very interesting to see what they've said. I noticed more young people voting this time round, but unfortunately we have no way of gathering the statistics on that because our process isn't very good there. I suspect there were more young people voting, and I suspect they were voting for us because we put in the effort. We did stalls on the high street as a team together. We did social media hustings, so live broadcast on Facebook, which nobody else did. So people could ask us questions from the comfort of their own home, because election hustings aren't very well attended either. And we just put ourselves out there. We were able to spread ourselves across different meetings. So if there was, there was one night where there was a nurses union meeting and an environmental group meeting, which obviously I couldn't attend both, but I was able to send party colleagues. So we were everywhere, basically, and able to answer people's questions and talk to them. So I think working together as a team, you're just able to achieve so much more than if you're doing it by yourself. And that's why I think in some parts of the island we caught on. And even in the constituencies we didn't win, we were challenging places for the very first time ever and getting people to vote for the first time ever because there was a party that they believed in rather than an independent candidate whose name didn't really mean much to them. Okay, well, you're going to be inside the tent now, which is a different place, from just being on the outside, and that's what you wanted. You've got your eye on a prize of being a ministerial role, I'm taking it. I'm hoping to do so. Obviously, that does depend on who's the Chief Minister and what accommodation they're prepared to meet with Reform Jersey, because, I have put together with my colleagues a comprehensive manifesto. I am not going to break any promise that I put in that. I'm not going to be asked by collective responsibility to vote for things that I promised the public I would. That's
gone, hasn't it? Didn't Jersey get rid of collective responsibility?
It's a bit more nuanced than that. Collective responsibility was enshrined in law, and it will no longer be enshrined in law, but it will be in the ministerial code of practice. But it will be more flexible than it was before. So I will have the opportunity to negotiate with the next Chief Minister the lines under which I won't be bound by collective responsibility and where my manifesto will come first. I know that that's been an interesting experience in the Isle of Man with the Lib Vam party, so I'm going to go over some of the former news articles and may even attempt to speak to them to find out how it didn't seem to go as well as it could have done in the end, to make sure that we learn from that experience and don't replicate it here.
Okay, well, before you go, people who remember the last interview we did with you would say you've had a makeover. You know, the hair's shorter, you're looking more televisual. Was that a plan or was that not?
I sort of did it. I did it because I wanted to do it first and foremost. But I suppose it is right that politicians should look the part, and I didn't really look the part before. But I did it because I wanted to, not because of any political pressure. And I did it a year before the election, so nobody can accuse me of electioneering.
Okay. Well, interesting times, and we'll do keep in touch. And I say that these links that's what I hope that people will get out of this. That the way party politics is now firmly established with you.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to be in touch with some of your MHKs to have that discussion and see what we can learn from one another.